I'm assuming the camera's on, right?
He said I think it's voice activated.
Okay.
Start talking.
Hello. Yep, it's working. It's working. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
Good deal. Good deal. I used to start off by saying Happy Friday, but one of my residents told me one day, Robert, we're retired. Every day is Friday. So good point. Good point. Yeah, it's Friday somewhere. My name is Robert Martinez. I am the new healthcare administrator, and I am so happy to be a part of this team, this organization. Like I was telling everybody this morning, this is just a higher standard, the standard that you guys should have here, and so I'm so. Oh, sorry. How's that? Is that a little better? Let me just hold this. There we go. How's that? All right. Sorry. So you missed my good joke. So. But again, my name is Robert Martinez. I'm the new healthcare administrator, and so happy to be here. And today we're going to talk about just a successful transition to healthcare. So kind of hopefully we can paint you a really good picture of what to expect and give you an opportunity to ask any questions if you have questions as well. Okay. But we'll go ahead and get started. Upon arrival to healthcare, your room is going to be prepared prior to arrival. We're going to have everything ready to go. The bed's going to be in good working condition. The TV remote control available. There's always going to be fresh water provided. The temperature is going to be to your liking, not to our likings. That's how I always try to remind staff. It's not about us. It's about what they want, because we might be a little warm sometimes, and the residents are cold. We monitor that based on your needs, not our needs. And of course, we also have a little welcome kit as well, which is some of your basic supplies, things that you will need during your stay here. We're also going to give a welcome and orientation when you arrive. So our staff are going to greet you upon arrival. The staff is going to show you the room, the amenities of the resident and or responsible party as well. We want to make sure that we include your responsible party as well if that's your wish. Emergency contacts are going to be posted on the wall. Staff instructs residents to use the call light when assistance is needed. Of course, that's something different from IL. From IL, you're calling 911, what have you. Here, you just push a button and we come running. Or we better come running. Explain who to notify also in case of a grievance. We'll talk more about that with Deborah. The admission process. The nurse, of course, is going to introduce herself. We're going to initiate the admission assessment. We're going to complete a full head-to-toe assessment to make sure that we're aware of any conditions that might be going on that maybe you're not even aware about. So we're going to be doing that as well. We're going to perform a safety assessment. We're going to review hospital discharge paperwork to make sure that everything that the physician or the ER transfers over to us as well. We're going to clarify any medication orders with the resident and or family, if appropriate. And we're also going to review immediate care needs. So that's always a big concern, is that whenever you're going to the hospital and you're discharged coming to healthcare, to ensure that we get the right, accurate information from the hospital to us here so that we can continue that continuum of care. Whether, there might have been a medication change that we didn't know about. So that's what it's really important to review the records. We have nurses that specifically just do that. They make sure that we have the accurate documentation from the hospital. We're going to offer snacks if appropriate. Unfortunately, sometimes, we can't eat what we want to eat sometimes, right? So, me included. I was just talking to somebody about that this morning. We assist with any toileting issues as needed. We assist with that. We're also going to ensure the resident comfort and safety. Okay, so again, using that call light, making sure that we're meeting your needs that you have. Education and expectations. We're going to explain what to expect during the first 24 hours, including vital signs monitoring, assistance to the bathroom, nursing rounds, and care routines. So yes, we're going to be coming in at a minimum once every 2 hours, just to make sure that you're doing okay. If you need to be turned, if you need assistance to the bathroom, we want to try to ensure everything we can to make sure that you stay safe while you're with us. Inventory and documentation. So we're going to complete a resident inventory whenever you come. We're going to go into more detail with that with Deborah, the social worker. But so we're going to document everything that you bring over from assisted living. From independent living, so that we have an accurate record of what you're bringing over. The next day, we're going to set the residents up for the meals. Ask about shower preferences. You know, some folks want to take a shower every day. Some want to take a shower every other day, 3 times a day. Whatever it is, we work with you guys. Okay. Also, rehab is going to evaluate you as well, so you'll have John and his team coming in to let you know what the expectations are for rehab and how often you can expect it and what you can expect as well. And you can ask him any questions about rehab. Care plans. The interdisciplinary team members meet with a resident to determine the plan of care. So we meet with you and the responsible party as well, so that we can make sure we're all on the same page about what the expectation is. And we're always trying to, have realistic expectations, right? I mean, if you were walking, I think I had one resident tell me that, so Robert, once I get done with rehab, should I be able to walk a mile? And I was like, well, because I couldn't before. Well, chances are we try to get you back to baseline. So whatever you were doing prior to your fall or what have you, we try to get you back to that level. But sometimes, hey, John's team is amazing. They can do magic. Okay, so I'll put that back on him.
I don't have to walk a mile with him.
Yep. So next we'll bring up Deborah, the social worker.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah, the social worker in healthcare, and I just wanted to go over just a couple of items specifically to answer any questions that you might have, being confused about what is necessary in healthcare. So as soon as you get into healthcare, you're going to be greeted by the floor nurse, and at some point in that initial meeting, she is going to do an inventory sheet. And I just wanted to talk with you about the inventory sheet to make sure that everyone understands what needs to be on that sheet. It covers everything. We want you to write down everything that you're bringing with you into healthcare so that we can have a record of what that is. It includes, people bring clothes. We want to know if you have 5 shirts or 10 shirts. We want to know how many pants you have, watches. Jewelry is a big item that I'm going to clarify in just a few minutes, but we want to know everything: devices, cell phones, iPads, computers, chargers, all kinds of things, hearing aids, glasses, dentures, all of it, so that we can account for all of those things should something come up during your stay. And then once that is completed, she's going to document everything, and she downloads it into your chart in the system. But over your stay, if you bring in another pair of shoes or a jacket or anything additional that was not on that initial inventory sheet, please go to the nurse's station and let them know that you need to add something to that inventory sheet so that we can keep it current and updated should anything change. And the staff, we really want to emphasize that we want you to bring the bare minimum with you into healthcare. We try to help you account for everything, all of your possessions while you're there, but we really want you to bring just the bare minimum. We know you need to bring clothes, shoes, like I said, a cell phone. Those things are important. We try to let you know that money is not necessary in healthcare for any reason. Everything that you do in healthcare can be added to your statement, and it will be billed to you just like everything else on the community. Haircuts, the bistro, all of those kinds of things. You don't need to have money with you in your possession. And Arlie, the dietitian, is amazing at getting you snacks. If you want chips, if you want sodas and things like that, we just have to push the call light, let them know that you're hungry, and Arlie and the CNAs will accommodate whatever treats you might want. We discourage you from bringing any kind of jewelry into healthcare. I know that everybody has a wedding ring on, or things that are important to you, a watch and things like that. We understand that, but we want you to keep it to a bare minimum if at all possible. Things do happen during the shower. Jewelry falls off. Things can happen. You set your jewelry on the table, and housekeeping comes in and they just grab all the trash and everything goes with it. I mean, hearing aids get lost that way, dentures get lost that way. So we try to keep track of everything that you bring in, but we really want you to bring bare essentials. We do have a safe in healthcare, and only Robert and myself have access to that safe. So if you come in and for whatever reason you have a purse, you have a wallet, you have money with you, if the nurse, and she will write all those things down, but then she will let us know. And I will usually go back into the room and let you know that we have the safe and that we would really prefer that you lock that up in the safe while you're there, just for your safekeeping and to make sure that nothing disappears, nothing gets lost or anything like that. And if you lock it up in the safe, just to be aware that Robert and I are the only ones with access, and we are only there Monday through Friday. So if you need your purse or your wallet on the weekend, that could be a problem. So we recommend that you leave it in your home. So if you need it, you can go back and get it. Somebody can get it for you. But if you have it with you, we will recommend that we lock it up in the safe. And like I said, money. We will recommend that you lock up money, any and all money, just because things sometimes disappear in healthcare. You will fill out an admissions packet when you get into healthcare. And just to be sure that everyone is aware, there is a paragraph or two in that admissions packet that says that healthcare is not responsible for lost or stolen items. And we try very, very hard to help you make sure that you have all of your belongings when you leave as when you got there. Sometimes things do go wrong and things do turn up missing or broken. And I will handle those grievances in healthcare. I do the investigation, I talk with staff, we view cameras, we talk to other departments, housekeeping, laundry, all of those things are done. And sometimes, unfortunately, we aren't able to recover your items. So we ask that you bring the bare minimum when you come into healthcare. And I've discussed the safe. And if we happen to put one of your items into the safe, it is there for you, but we really prefer that a family member, when they come, if they are able to come, take that item with them, just so that it can be in your possession or family member's possession. We understand that some of you don't have family that are local, so it can stay in the safe while you're there in healthcare. But if at all possible, we'd like those items picked up as quickly as possible, just so that we can ensure that nothing gets lost while you're in healthcare. And that is all the information that I have. Enrique will come up and share some nursing information with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so let me go ahead and just cover about medication coverage. What is covered while you are with us in healthcare? If you're coming with us under Medicare skilled services, all the medications are covered. They should be covered by the facility. So, but at times we'll ask you if you can please bring us what you have on hand just to start the first doses. We do have an emergency kit in the facility, but sometimes there might be a medication that we don't have there or it's not there, and we needed to start it right away. So we can please do that. But the nurse may ask you to bring it over, and then once we have the medication from the pharmacy, and this happens because most of our admissions come after hours, perhaps after 9 o'clock. There is some people have come over to us at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. So impossible for us to get the medications ready for you. When although we have an emergency kit, we do have also we can have an stat service brought over to us from the pharmacy, but it might be a little time still. And then the holidays is even worse, so we're gonna make sure that you have the medication that you need. As I say, most of the medications are covered except the specialty medications. And then if you have any specialty medications, if you can please we will ask you if you can please bring them over as well. Once you get off Medicare, let's say you go private paid with us for a short period of time, or if you come over to us respite, then the medications will be obtained from your preferred pharmacy. You always have a right to get it from your preferred pharmacy, medications. That can include SAMC or BAMC, and or HEB, Walgreens, and any of your preferred pharmacy. Okay. Um, and actually, that's all I have. If you have any questions for me?
There's a question.
Oh, sure. Oh, I got both thumbs up. Okay, sir. I gotta go this way. That's what happens with that.
Question.
It might not be on.
Push it.
Mail-in express scripts, does that mean the family is likely going to get those from the mailbox over here? It's kind of just a little bit of a different circumstance.
Yes, actually, we can order if you are under Dr. Soria, if Dr. Soria is your doctor, then we can order actually ourselves through Express Scripts, Optum too as well. We have that option. So we will do that ourselves for the most part. But if the family prefers to bring it over to us through order themselves, that you're welcome to do that as well. But we do have that capacity, ability to get it for you.
Could you introduce yourself?
I'm so sorry, yes. My name is Enrique de Luna, and I'm the Assistant Director of Nurses for Healthcare. My name is Enrique de Luna, and I'm the Assistant Director of Nurses for Healthcare. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy because of the theater, really bad. So we're going to change this too. Okay, cheers.
Does the pharmacy need to package like a blister pack?
No.
You want to cover that?
Yeah.
For the new people, I think it'd be nice to hear what y'all's backgrounds and where did you come from and so forth.
Yes, yes. My name is Enrique de Luna, and I'm the Assistant Director of Nurses. I do have actually was raised in California and moved over to Texas about 20 years ago. Was blessed to have a job here in Texas the first day that I moved. And and I've been working as an Assistant Director of Nurses and one of our competitors. And I worked there for 17 years. I was hired over here at the ARC about 3 years ago. And I graduated in 1989 from Glendale College. Okay. I have 5 kids. Oof, oof. And I have a 7-year-old girl. Yeah, so.
What about Randolph? You getting prescriptions when one is in healthcare?
Definitely, we can do Randolph too as well, the Air Force and BAMC as well. The only thing that we wanted to ask is that if you bring any medications, once again, do you get any medications from home, they have to be in the original packet, in the original bottle, because we sometimes find some other pills in there by mistake and anything that it has to be actually the original. Doesn't have to be sealed, but it has to be the original bottle so we can compare the medications. We have a Google, we can Google the shapes and everything, and we know what medications are there. But it has to be in the original bottle. Ms. Carroll has a question.
I have a question. Is Dr. Soria, once you're in there, he becomes your primary care for everybody in there, or what?
Preferable, yes. He is you're on the Medicare, yes. Medicare Part A. He's a medical director, so as the.
How about respite care?
You can actually have your own if you want. If you prefer to have your own doctor to be, however,
No, I
the thing is, the doctor that it has to have privileges with us, so it had to be applied. It was a credentialing process that we had to go through.
No, I meant he would be primary care for the health care.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That's all I needed to know, yeah.
And we really encourage that also, just because our medical director, we know for sure, is available to us 24/7. We have his home phone, his cell phone, his car phone, every phone that he has.
Yes.
So when we need him, beeper, he will respond. So that's one of the reasons why we encourage that.
Basically, I'm Sharon Taylor, and I'm on the board of directors. I just wanted to make a statement. Carol Hebner and I are on the healthcare committee for the board of directors. Now, we have a stiff charter that we have to follow. We do not have anything to do with day-to-day activities. Of course, that's the responsibility of healthcare. And may I caveat this by saying I've never been in healthcare, but I have really been impressed with the staff, particularly newer members that have been added, and they seem very conscientious. We do ask difficult questions sometimes, but I really feel that we get candid answers. I think this briefing has been a while coming to let us know what to expect as we move through the continuum. And one question I did have, when you talk about all of the steps, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. When we talk about all of the steps that you go through or what you do, is this for both for rehab and skilled nursing? All of those apply to both? Okay, thank you. But I felt like a lot of people are unaware. The board does have a charter where we do look at, is the ARC following certain things? But we do not have anything to do with the day-to-day activities. Thank you.
And just a reminder, the whole goal of this presentation is just to lessen the anxiety if and when you have to come over to us, so that you know us, you know who the social worker is, you know who the ADON is. Of course, you know who John is. John has been here since the first brick was laid. And so you know who, and who I am, of course, okay, so. Yeah.
Okay. So your turn.
So now you can talk loud.
One thing is, if you get your medications from the VA, can you arrange to get the medications from the VA?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you can get those medicines from the VA.
Mhm.
You just
That's
okay.
correct.
And then I have another question, and I probably am not seeing it, but it used to be that there would be a posting of the staffing every day as to how many RNs, LPNs, CNAs are on board for that day. Do you still do that?
We do, actually. We have it by the director of nurse's office. She has all the postings over there for who
Oh,
is on
so
the
it's
staff.
not on each floor?
It is actually an and good thing. Let me find out about that, because it's supposed to be there in every unit.
Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I've been told I'm supposed to keep it pithy because apparently I tend to talk a lot. I don't know where that came from. But for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jonathan Steiner. I am the one of the physical therapists here at the ARC, and I am the director of rehab. And I kind of oversee the operations of. We have 3 therapy gyms here. One in healthcare, which we got a brand new, not a brand new room, but a redone room where we have a lot more space. And then we have the one wellness center upstairs above the bistro, and then we have one at Lakeside. So I have been here. This year will be my 25th year here, and yeah. And I had I know most of you already heard this, but I did have hair when I started. And, I'm not holding Steve responsible, but, but anyway, I've been here, quite a while. We've gone through seen a lot of the changes, and I say this with all sincerity, working here, next to my wife and kids, working here has been the biggest blessing of my life. So, this place means a lot to me. So that's who I am. Making the transition into healthcare, some of you may have a planned admission into healthcare, and then some of you may have a unplanned. We like the planned. So, if you're going to have hip surgery or knee surgery or some procedure, in advance. That makes things a lot easier on everybody. And then, of course, you have the unplanned where we have some sort of traumatic event, okay? Making a smooth transition into healthcare starts before you even go to the hospital, if you're going to have surgery. Start thinking about the things that you need to bring. Have it ready to go. Have an idea of, have a bag packed, okay? All that stuff. The things that you're going to need in healthcare, from my standpoint, are anything that you need or use for activities of daily living, because that's what we're going to be focused on when you get here. Your activities of daily living. Now, what are some of the things right off the top of my head? Hairbrush. I don't need that one really, I guess. But hairbrush, toothbrush, your glasses, obviously your phone. Obviously, you're going to need clothing, underwear, socks, deodorant. I do need that. And in terms of the clothing, don't wear something just super tight that's super hard to get on. Get something loose, whether maybe it's scrubs or sweatpants or, shorts are okay too to a certain extent, but things, we need you to have the clothing that you could, because that's what we're going to be practicing, you getting in, dressed and undressed. Okay, because that's an activity of daily living you're going to have to do when you go home. Everything is geared toward the activities of when you go home. Okay, I'm sure I'm leaving something out. Deborah, there was something else I was supposed to talk about bringing, but I can't remember what it was. What?
About medication.
Yeah, the medications. I know he already had talked about that.
What's required to get into rehab?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. We're going to go into that. So you're in the hospital. So I want to make sure everybody understands this. You have to have, to come in skilled under Medicare Part A, which is basically where Medicare pays for everything and then TRICARE picks up whatever they don't pay, assuming you have TRICARE for life. You have to have a 3-day hospital stay. 3 midnights. And, right. Some of these places, because they don't have enough rooms or whatever, they will leave you in the ER or whatever, and you're under observation. But you may not know that. You need to ask. Observation does not count, and it's like one of the main reasons that Medicare gets denied, because they don't have the actual hospital 3-day stay. Okay, now we're looking at it, but we need y'all to look at it also, too. We try to verify everything, but just if you're there, realize you need a 3-day hospital stay. So, coming into healthcare from the hospital, it's a difficult transition. You've been at the hospital, you're sick, maybe you had surgery, maybe you're under anesthesia, maybe you're in pain. We all know they wake you up to give you a sleeping pill. So you don't exactly come in feeling real well and real rested. And then you come in and you're on this really bumpy ride in an ambulance, and for whatever reason, it seems like they want to bring you in at 11 o'clock at night. I don't know why that is, but they all the time, and it's usually Friday night.
What I want to add real quick with that with the ambulance is that healthcare has just so that you're aware, because it becomes an issue on many occasions, we don't decide when the ambulance comes to get you and bring you to healthcare. Diana's really good about giving them the information that they need, and more times than not, it's throughout the day, in the middle of a day, and still, it takes the hospital hours before you get here. We have no control of that. It is a case manager in the hospital that decide when you actually leave.
Yeah, and that's a real good point, because, I mean, there's many a times I've been sitting here waiting on Friday night, waiting for somebody to come in so I can get them evaluated, and they don't make it till, I mean, we've literally had people come in at, 2 or 3 in the morning. So, anyway, the point being, sometimes you're not at your best when you're coming into healthcare, and it can be frustrating. And we're going to do our best to try to make that transition as smooth as possible as a team. Okay. Now, so let's say you've come in, you're there, you come in at 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're looking for me at 6 o'clock in the morning to be there to evaluate you, I'm probably not going to be there. It's not, and nothing is just immediate. It doesn't happen that fast. You come in, we're going to be seeing you depending on what time of day you come in, either the first day or the second day, but no later than the third day, okay? Generally, when you're in the hospital, we're having meetings. We already know what's going on. We already know who's in the hospital. We know why you're there. We've already looked at all your medical records. So when you get there, we're prepared. We know what's going on. So from a therapy standpoint, you're going to get visited by 3 different types of therapists, okay? 2, maybe just 2, but for the most part it's 3, okay? PT, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. These are the evaluations that we have to do. Now, the speech therapist is going to come in and ask you some questions. They are not meant to be insulting. They are assessments that we have to do per Medicare. Please don't be insulted if we ask you, do you know what year it is? We have to do that. So she'll do a cognitive assessment and maybe a quick, just making sure everybody's swallowing okay. OT is going to come in and kind of look at your activities of daily living. Can you eat? Can you brush your teeth? Can you toilet yourself? Can you dress yourself? Can you dress your arms? Can you dress your legs? Can you put your shoes on? How much assistance would you need to take a shower? All those things we're going to assess. And then PT is going to come in, and I'm going to be looking at how do you get in and out of bed? Are you able to stand? Are you able to get into a wheelchair? Are you able to get onto a commode? Can you walk? What precautions do you have? All these type of things. We're going to be doing a complete assessment, okay? And we will probably be asking you the same question that 500 other people have already asked you. Just bear with us. But we do need to know that information. So, and then we're also going to talk about what are your goals? What do you hope to achieve out of therapy? Now, obviously, everybody's goal is get back to where I was and go home in 3 days. That doesn't always happen. But that's kind of the process of it as we go through the admission and the evaluation. As we go through your stay, we'll have care plans meetings, we'll talk about goals, and then when it comes time for discharge, we'll talk about, where you're going to go, when you're going to go, may do a home assessment and all those type of things. That's kind of a different speech, but presentation. But that's kind of briefly, in a nutshell, what you can kind of expect when you come into healthcare from therapy. Anybody got any questions for me or anybody else? Oh, there's a whole bunch. Okay.
Hey, you started something over here.
Does the physician contact you directly with the order for rehab, or does he send that on paperwork?
Well, Well, we usually have an order from the hospital that's coming in, but generally the order that we're using is from our medical director. So when they come in skilled from the hospital, we have standing orders to evaluate and treat from Dr. Soria. Does that answer your question?
What's the first step to get to you?
Well, be in the hospital for 3 days.
Well, for rehab.
But when you get here, I know you're coming. I already have the order. I have everything that I need. You don't need to worry about anything. I will come for you. Yeah, no, we got it all taken care of. You know, really honestly, when you come in, it's so stressful, like I said, and everything. We really want to make this transition as easy on you as possible. And like I said, it's not an easy transition when you don't feel good and you're sick, and then you got some big ugly guy coming in wanting you to get up out of bed. And Steve brought up a good point. One of the important things with Medicare, very important, in therapy is you have to participate. Medicare has guidelines, not my guidelines. They're Medicare's guidelines. And if we don't meet those guidelines, guess what? They don't pay. Now, some people don't like that and they get angry at me. You know, listen, they're paying, they make the rules. You have to participate. We have to get so many days treatment in a week, so many days, or so many minutes and so many days a week. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something, and you're not going to like this either. Medicare doesn't care if you're in pain. You still got to do the therapy. Medicare doesn't care if you don't feel well. You still got to do the therapy. That's not me. Now, we work with you. Obviously, if you're in real pain, we're going to go in and try to decrease that pain. We're, contrary to what everybody hears, we are not torturers, but we do have to work together sometimes to meet those Medicare guidelines. Now, one of those other guidelines that some people really don't like is you are supposed to stay in healthcare. You're not supposed to leave except for doctor's appointments, religious services. Am I missing something? You are not, you can't leave, and I'm sorry to tell you this, you're not supposed to leave to go over to happy hour. Medicare doesn't cover that. You can't do therapy and then go up and spend all day in your apartment. Medicare thinks if you're well enough to go sleep in your apartment all day, you don't need to be in therapy. Which, whether that's true or not, those are the rules. You cannot just leave. You have to stay there. And if you do leave the healthcare, you really need to let the nurses know you're going. Because we will miss you. And we will come find you. Rather rapidly, I might add. So those are important rules and regulations you need to understand while you're there. Okay? All right. Sorry, what's the next question? I'm sorry.
Yes. Is this working? Yes. Is there any truth to the rumor that the AARP Medicare Advanced is not accepted with you?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if we have a contract, if the ARC has a contract with them or not specifically. I don't think we do. There's so many different so many of these Medicare Advantage plans and so many of these HMOs now, and they're all different. And I'm not an expert at all of that. But a lot of them, they only want you going to their places. In terms of, I would say, contact the HMO that you're on, or the Advantage plan that you're on, and then who would they call? Finance, or who knows that?
If you are in a hospital and you are needing skilled services and you have managed care insurance, it's the case manager at the hospital that can help you accommodate that insurance. They're going to call the insurance, and you can call them as well, and they can tell you which facilities they have contracts with. We don't currently have contracts with managed care in healthcare. I know that we have had some residents that come in with managed care and that we're out of network with them, but you know, like John said, we have to call them. We have to find out if they will cover these things for you. We really have to call the insurance company to see. All of them, he is correct. They are all different. They all have, you know, like WellMed, they do want you to go to their facilities for therapy. So it really just depends, but it starts at the hospital with the case manager at the hospital that once they determine what insurances you have, they will work with that insurance company to find where it is covered, you know, included in your plan.
Thank you, Deborah, for bailing me out on that question, because I didn't really know the answer to some of that. I do want to say on the Advantage plans, we generally we do an evaluation, then we have to submit paperwork, we have to wait for the response. It comes back and they say, okay, well, you can see them for 3 days or 5 days. They are kind of in control of how much therapy you get and how much time you get, whereas under regular Medicare, we are more in control of it. So, not a huge fan of the HMO, so I'll shut up now on that.
Most of you see me in the hallways and whatever. I am a retarded, whatever physician. And I've tracked the progress of medical issues in the United States here. And you've heard subtle and sometimes not so subtle language, which I believe is correct here at the ARC, that your best option is TRICARE. If you have Advantage and the next cycle comes up, you might even consider of not doing it. At least consider it. I'm not. I'm basing this on my own perspective. I don't speak for anybody else, but it's something to consider as you make your decisions.
I think we have time for a couple more questions, and then we will be staying afterwards. So if you guys have any questions for us, you know, we'll be up front. Just want to be respectful of everyone's time.
Thank you. Quick question, John. What if your primary care provider is not Dr. Soria? Will you take orders from another doctor?
For outpatient, yes. For when you come into healthcare, generally speaking, my understanding is Dr. Soria becomes the primary physician here. That's my understanding. Is that that's correct? So if you come in here, Soria is going to be your primary physician while you're here. That doesn't change your primary physician, you know, for any other time. It's just while you're here. So that's how I understand it. But believe it or not, I'm not a billing expert.
And I just wanted to add with that real quick. It has come up in the past where a resident does have a different primary doctor. I know that Dr. Soria will reach out and consult with that doctor if it's needed, if it comes up during your stay. Yeah, that's true. Say that out loud real quick.
I'm just saying that, you know, long-term care has a lot of regulations about how often a physician has to visit and how often they have to be here, and typically they don't want to do that. So you find a doctor like Soria, and he'll make house calls. He's phenomenal. But we really want to have that response and that continuity of care and the similarity.
Good point.
John, excuse me, John, you briefly touched on home health care, and you said that's another presentation. Can we schedule something so we can hear more about that?
Yeah, well, really what I was talking about was the end of the stay and transitioning back to home. Yes, I would assume, if that's what y'all want, I don't see why. I mean, we want to give you whatever you need and whatever you want. So yes, I think that's, if that will help you guys out, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. unless Robert tells me otherwise.
No, sounds good. I'm sure we can set that up.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea.
Go ask, get some questions over here.
I'll give you an example of our case study and what happened. Diane, my wife, wasn't unable to get around, and I was unable to be the caretaker to take care of. We had a couple of falls, and so talked to Dr. Soror, and I requested we needed somehow to get in to have physical therapy to get her strength back. We couldn't come directly here because it takes 3 days. So what he did is he wrote a PT, therapy order for Warm Springs. Warm Springs is a rehabilitation hospital, and if you stay there 3 days or more, then you can transition back to here, just as if you were coming from any other hospital.
Now it's called PAM, by the way.
It is PAM, but on their sign, they call it Warm Springs as well. But you're right, it's a PAM organization, and they're bigger than just one unit.
Very good point. Go this way.
I'm just curious how many single versus double rooms are in the unit.
Room availability is tricky right now. We are full, currently full. We do have a lot of long-term residents currently that have private rooms. And when we can accommodate a private room, we will do that. But right now, we are currently full, which has not happened before. So when a resident comes in for skilled services, I know that a lot of them prefer private rooms, but we fortunately have this wonderful problem that we have healthcare here, and we're trying to provide care for as many residents as we possibly can. So right now, we are going to ask that we don't have private rooms available. You will have a roommate currently, and it's just, you know, trying to accommodate everybody that we need to.
Well, if you say you're full and we need a room, what happens?
We work on trying to move things around as much as we possibly can. We work with John, trying to figure out discharges on a daily basis. We're constantly moving parts and things like that. So accommodating, working with the hospital, you know, making sure you have the nights that you need there, and if they can hold a patient, that's happened a number of times where they hold someone for a night or two until we can accommodate the room. We're working with everybody, trying to accommodate the resident as they need it. We don't want to say we don't have a room. We're trying to figure that out. We're always working on trying to figure out availability.
I discovered this week when Dr. Soria prescribes a new medicine, it still requires your approval. In my case, for my spouse, it's still, which I appreciate, that it said, okay, this is a new one that he wants to give her. Is that okay? So it required my approval.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes. All of the medications and everything that happens when you're in the healthcare, either the resident, if able, will make that decision, or their family member will be contacted and notified of medication changes and additions and things like that.
Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much. Again, we will be here. You know, we'll stay afterwards. If you guys have any more questions for us, we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Just like I said, we're. I know you guys have schedules. Thank you.
And please pass on this information to fellow residents, because you know, most of y'all have been here before, and probably some of you have heard this before. Pass on this information to the residents because it's important stuff. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Gloria.
John.
Yep, there you go.